Hi everybody, my name is David Lapins. I'm a master's student here at Carleton University as a member of the Aquatic Ecosystems and Environmental Change Laboratory. So before my master's, I was actually very fortunate to take part in a wide variety of field research projects as I was working as a field research technician in Western Canada during my undergraduate degree. I collected data in the field for projects studying climate change impacts on alpine environments and in subalpine forests. I took part in projects studying impacts of invasive plant species, and I also worked on projects monitoring sediment transport in alpine rivers. So this was all really when I fell in love with fieldwork, and it was what inspired me to pursue graduate school because I loved fieldwork so much. For my master's research here at Carleton, I'm studying the long-term effects of mining contamination on lakes in the subarctic around Yellowknife. The contaminant that I'm most interested in is arsenic pollution from gold mining. So arsenic contamination is really difficult to manage because once it's inputted into the environment, it doesn't go away or decompose. It can literally stay in the ecosystem forever. And this is a problem because it's so toxic to both the environment and to people. Over the 1900s, mines around Yellowknife inputted hundreds of thousands of tons of arsenic waste as a byproduct of gold mining into the environment. And this had a major impact on the local landscapes. To put things into perspective, it only takes a little tiny bit of arsenic to kill someone. Arsenic has a very complex chemical behavior, especially in lakes. And how toxic the arsenic is often dependent on natural lake conditions. So things like water temperature, dissolved oxygen levels, lake mixing patterns, and aquatic productivity can all have an impact on how toxic arsenic in the lake is. The problem in the subarctic is that climate change could be altering these lake conditions in a way that will increase the toxicity of arsenic over time. In order to understand the toxicity of the lake arsenic contamination moving into the future, we first have to understand how lake conditions have been changing over time. The big problem here is that in many of these remote lakes, we're simply lacking environmental monitoring data over the past several years. This is where fieldwork comes into play, because we're actually able to travel out to these lakes, get in a boat, and retrieve lake sediment cores from the bottoms of our study lakes. These sediment core samples hold a vast amount of biogeochemical data, which we can then take back to the labs at Carleton University and analyze in order to reconstruct lake conditions over the past few hundred years. From this, we're able to then determine whether or not lake conditions are changing in a way to promote arsenic toxicity within these lakes. So there's really so many reasons why I love fieldwork, but I think the biggest reason for me is just the adventure of it all. I love to be outdoors, and often you're traveling into these beautiful remote locations with a purpose and with curiosity. You're going out into the wilderness with an open mind and a mission to learn. And I think there's something very exciting about that. You also become very connected with your study site, and it makes your research more personal and meaningful to you as well. I also really love having the opportunity to use different scientific equipment while out in the field. Some of these scientific instruments are so fascinating, from drones to surveying equipment to water sensors. It's really amazing to see these instruments in action and learn how to use them yourself. And I think that's something that I've become really passionate about. I think the best stories come from those days when things don't go as planned and the bugs are terrible and the weather turns for the worse, but you still manage to get through and collect your samples. One time out in the Rocky Mountains, we were supposed to take tree core samples from one site, but then when we arrived, there was a mama bear and her cubs. So, we had to sort of scramble last minute to, find another study site on the map that would suit the sampling criteria that we needed. And, it ended up being a great day, but definitely a little stressful at first. Sometimes equipment fails too. One time we were out on the Rideau Lakes and our Ekman grab, which is a device that collects sediments from the bottom of the lake, broke. And it was our last chance to get some samples, so I ended up jumping in and with a snorkel and collecting sediment off the bottom of the lake, just in a bucket, and it worked out okay, but we had a good laugh about it. Well, thanks for watching, everybody. I really hope that you enjoy your honors field course. despite everything going on with COVID, I hope that you're able to get outside in the field soon and perform your own field work and really experience the magic and beauty of it for yourself. Yeah, I really hope that you enjoy the semester and that everything goes well. Stay safe, everybody. Bye.